Okay, so what actually happens when a 52-year wait collides head-on with a 41-year-old absolute legend? Picture the scene with me. We're in Houston, Texas. The climate-controlled NRG Stadium is totally packed, blissfully shielded from that sweltering June heat. And right down there on the pitch, a truly historic collision is about to unfold between an unstoppable football giant and a massive, heavy underdog.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down one of the most stunning results we've seen so far in the 2026 World Cup. We're talking about that genuinely shocking 1-1 draw between heavyweight tournament favorites Portugal and the Democratic Republic of Congo.
Let's kick things off with the sheer magnitude of what we were all watching. 41 years old and 132 days old. When Cristiano Ronaldo stepped onto that pitch, he was literally making history. He became the oldest outfield player to ever start a World Cup match. And on top of that, he tied Lionel Messi as the second man to ever play in 6 different World Cup tournaments. It's just an absolutely incredible milestone for one of the greatest to ever play the game.
Section 1. The setup. The Giants. Portugal's early dominance.
Going into this matchup, the expectations were crystal clear. Pretty much everyone expected Portugal to orchestrate an absolute blowout. I mean, the contrast between these two teams just couldn't be any starker. On one side, you've got Cristiano Ronaldo sitting on 973 career competitive goals, chasing that unprecedented 1,000 mark, playing in his 6th World Cup. And on the flip side, DR Congo, a team that had been entirely absent from the tournament for 52 years with exactly 0 World Cup goals in their entire nation's history. 0.
And honestly, the way this match started out seemed to confirm exactly what everyone was expecting. Boom! Just 6 minutes in, João Neves nods in a gorgeous cross from Pedro Neto. Portugal is absolutely flying. In fact, to put this into perspective, in just the first 5 minutes and 32 seconds of the game, Portugal completed a jaw-dropping 84 passes. It genuinely looked like the route was on, for sure, and a totally one-sided affair was just inevitable.
Section 2. Escaping the 1974 nightmare. The Ghosts of Zaire.
Now, to really grasp the sheer magnitude of this match, you have to understand the immense psychological hurdle the Leopards had to clear. Imagine waiting over half a century just to redeem your country's name on the global stage. Back in 1974, playing under the name Zaire, they were the very first sub-Saharan African team to ever reach the World Cup. But man, that dream quickly became a nightmare. We're talking a humiliating 9-0 loss to Yugoslavia, massive political pressure from the regime back home, and a legacy that was frankly brutally reduced to a punchline. And for 52 long years, that painful punchline was the only image the world had of their football nation.
So getting back here wasn't easy. DR Congo's path back to the global stage under coach Sébastien Desabre was grueling. It was highly dramatic. First, they survived a massive playoff against Cameroon. Then, they outlasted powerhouse Nigeria on penalties. And finally, it took an unbelievably tense 100th minute VR-reviewed winner from Axel Tuanzebe against Jamaica just to earn their spot in Houston. I mean, they fought for literally every single inch to get here.
And we also really have to acknowledge the context of what's happening back home. Because this team is playing against a truly harrowing backdrop right now. The eastern region of the country is battling a severe Ebola outbreak, on top of an ongoing conflict with the M23 militia and literally decades of security instability. Knowing what's happening at home really amplifies the emotional weight of exactly what this squad is fighting for when they step out onto that global stage.
Section 3. Tragedy to Triumph. The Emotional Core.
The resilience of this entire nation perfectly mirrors the incredibly personal story of the individual hero of this match, Yoane Wissa. Wissa was actually the victim of a horrific acid attack in July 2021, just days before his transfer to Brentford. I want you to just take a second and let the gravity of his court testimony sink in. He said, "I opened a door and had liquid thrown in my face. I screamed and could not breathe." He was nearly left completely blind by this.
He later went on to say, "At night, I can no longer get to sleep if I am by myself." Revealing those deep, very real emotional and psychological scars really transforms how we see Wissa. He isn't just a simple goal scorer out there anymore, right? He's a living symbol of ultimate human resilience.
So let's go back to the game. Picture this. We're in first half stoppage time in Houston. The ball comes soaring in, Yoane Wissa rises up, and he heads in DR Congo's historic first ever World Cup goal. It was unbelievable. In one perfect moment of equalization, he completely shattered those ghosts of 1974.
Section 4. How the Leopards Survived. The Tactical Reality. Now, as incredible an emotional high as that was, the hard data actually proves DR Congo didn't just get lucky out there. They entirely earned this draw. When you look at the stats, Portugal held a massive 75% possession to DR Congo's 25%. Yet somehow, DR Congo actually registered more shots, 8-7, and they had a higher expected goals tally, 0.82, compared to Portugal's 0.69. Think about that. They literally outcreated one of the best teams in the entire world while barely even touching the ball.
Just try to wrap your head around this staggeringly low number for a second. 0.07. That was Portugal's expected goals for the entire first 45 minutes. Despite passing the ball almost 500 times in that half, and coming out with that blistering early dominance we talked about, they were left with absolutely zero cutting edge.
The mathematical reality here is just staggering. DR Congo's super disciplined defense and those rapid counterattacks completely neutralized Ronaldo and his superstar teammates. They absorbed all that heavy pressure, and then they struck back with lethal efficiency.
Section 5. Reclaiming Football History, the Resolution.
So as we look at the lasting legacy of this draw, let's start with Portugal. The legendary Ronaldo got a full 90 minutes under his belt, sure, but he was kept completely scoreless in Houston. He has now gone 10 major tournament games without finding the back of the net. And that unprecedented 1,000-goal milestone, well, it continues to elude him on the world stage.
But for DR Congo, just listen to these truly inspiring words from their captain, Chancel Mbemba. He said, "Our promises are that we will continue to be humble, keep our feet on the ground, and work relentlessly." That kind of incredible discipline and humility is exactly what defines this modern Leopard squad.
So the crucial takeaway here is this. DR Congo didn't just win a single point in the group stage. No, they took their history back. This is a nation redefined. They totally replaced that painful punchline of 1974 with a story of pure triumph, giving their people a completely new, beautiful image to celebrate.
Which leaves us with this final, provocative thought to chew on. In a tournament that is so often defined by its glitzy, massive superstars, will history remember the giants who faltered or the ghosts who finally found their glory? I don't know about you, but I absolutely cannot wait to see how the rest of Group K unfolds.